Day game is a skill. It is something that can be learned, and it is something that if you train like any other, say, sport out there, you can get very good at it. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a little tip that I don't really tell anyone unless I'm coaching them. But before we kick it off, I'm Dave, and this channel is dedicated to giving you no BS, novel dating advice for the modern man. In the description, I have a 3-part video series and also a free PDF that goes along with it. So I think it's the second link in the description. Check that out if you're interested. So, day game, night game, just game in general is a skill. And how do you get good at any skill? Well, you need to practice until you get it right. But there are people out there that practice and don't actually get any better. I've seen them in many of the sports that I have played myself. I've played many sports in the past, and there are guys out there that just turn up and they just play the sport because they enjoy the sport. They're not out to get any special achievement. They're not out to really win. They just enjoy playing it. For instance, even say for instance rugby union or any sort of football. There's guys that just like hanging out with the boys. They like training. They like turning up to the games, but they're not out to become superstars. They're not trying to get into the local club and get paid to play. They're not out to try and push themselves to, reach the elite level. They just enjoy doing it, and it's fun, right? And I've noticed guys that just they plateau and they stay around the same for the rest of their lives, and they're not willing to put in that extra time in the gym and get stronger. They're not willing to do the sprint training, and so they kind of just turn up and do their bit, have a bit of fun, and they're good to be around, but they don't really help the team too much. And I've also noticed with individual sports, there's guys that they will turn up. Just say you're learning to box, or you're learning some Muay Thai or something like that. There's guys that just turn up and they just do the training because they want to keep fit. They want to they just want to keep fit, and they just want to have kind of this skill set, but they never turn up to the semi-contact nights, or they're not willing to really get in there and do some sparring. And they definitely don't want to get in the ring and try to win a competition or make some money out of proper competition. They just like the training, you see. And so there's a lot of people out there that do that. They just get into this mode of enjoying what they're doing, and that's perfectly okay. But when it comes to game, it's kind of the same thing. There are a lot of guys out there that they meet up with wings, they join up to the communities, and they don't want to get any better, and that's perfectly okay. They just enjoy it. They just enjoy hanging out with the guys. They just enjoy making friends, and they like meeting up with guys and walking around, and they're not out to really improve themselves. And I think you need to think about it from that point of view. Where are you at? Do you want to improve? And I haven't heard people ask that question before. I would argue that I've never seen a video on this before, but I would argue that there's a lot of guys out there that don't really care too much if they get any better. They're not willing to change. They're not willing to put in the time and effort. They're looking for maybe a few little minor hacks. That's why they watch YouTube videos or join up to the communities, or get pirated digital products. Someone puts out a $500 product, and they get together, and they have 10 guys that put in $50 each or something like that, so that they can all get the login to it, or they get someone that can hack it and pirate the entire product. And they go through it, they put it on hard drives, and they pass them around the groups, or they watch YouTube videos and like this, and they look for hacks, they look for new tricks that they could possibly use to maybe get them some, better results. But they're not really that keen on getting really good at this. And that's the same as the football player, or the guy that gets into learning the box, or the tennis player, or the guy that's doing the MMA or whatever. They're happy to go out and get the flashiest, most expensive mouth guard or the most expensive set of boots, football boots with the best studs, but they're not willing to put in the hard yards to actually improve themselves. And I think you need to ask yourself, what camp are you in? Are you just a passive sort of a guy that's willing to, just peter along where you're at? And I think when it comes, there's one thing that I do at the moment which puts me in the passive camp when it comes to learning something, and that is chess. I play chess. I got it on my phone. I play chess all the time, but I never really want to learn how to get better at chess. I do it as kind of a meditative sort of endeavor. And I've got myself to an intermediate level by just teaching myself how to play chess. I play other people, but all they have to do is play me a few times, learn my strategy, and then go and do some real research, and then they can beat me. And then I need to innovate again to try and beat them, but I'm kind of passive. I don't want to be the best chess player in the world. I want to figure it out for myself, and that's what I enjoy. So you need to think to yourself, where are you? Are you just passive, or do you want to get really good at this? And if you want to get really good at this, you have to actually learn from not only the best at it, people that are actually out there trying to improve themselves and trying to get to an elite level. And you also need to, it's not just the digital products, it's not just the boot camp, it's not just training, it's surrounding yourself with guys, and sometimes you can't access these guys for free, but surrounding yourself with guys that are really pushing themselves and they want to get the best out of pickup and dating. They want to meet and attract the best possible girls they possibly can with their relevant mate values, and they're willing to go to that extreme to try and get it. If you're one of those guys, then, well, you need to really surround yourself with them. One, you also need to maybe get some coaching if you can't access these guys. And also, there's a lot of guys in the community, but a lot of them, they're not really out to help you. Maybe you might be able to learn something by winging them a little bit. But there's also a lot of guys out there that tell you that they're good, but in reality, they're not that good. And there's another thing, is drills. So with any sort of training, you turn up to training and the coach will actually give you drills. So if you want to learn how to get better at boxing, they'll actually isolate one particular punch and they'll get you to master it. Or if it's football, they'll get you to master passing the ball, or stepping, or sprinting, or you have to be able to lift or tackle. These are all different skills. And the same with game. So game has a whole range of skills that can be broken down into training, and that's what I do on my bootcamp. So what I do is I look at you, I have a look at how you run your game, and I try to give you drills depending on where you're at. If you're at the stage where just getting on the field is a problem, just walking into the ring or entering the gym is a problem, which is you have social anxiety and you struggle to approach, then we have to tackle that. But I dare say the vast majority of guys that go and do coaching, they don't have that issue. Then it's like, okay, well, how do you get better? Do you just approach a lot? No. Approaching a lot of girls is evidence that you've run out of ideas. And when you're looking at game, there's drills, there's proper drills. It's not this mythical, magical sort of charismatic thing that only a bunch of elite people have. They got there by putting in the hard yards, and whether they know it or not, they were probably refining each aspect of their game by going through drills. And that's a lot of the things that I teach when I train guys. So there's drills on how to overcome all of the problems that you might face. So for instance, you get a lot of flakes. there's a drill that helps you to overcome flakes, depending on where you're at. If you're having trouble hooking, there's a drill, or there's several drills to help you overcome that. There's drills to overcome almost every aspect of your game, and that's training, that's taking it seriously, that's trying to refine every aspect of your game so that you can hit that next level. And the first question you need to ask yourself is, are you just a passive player? Are you out there just trying to passively wing it, and you're just going to make some approaches, and if you get lucky, you get lucky, and it's just pretty much a mate value playoff, go direct, mate value playoff? You know, if she's less attractive than you and she's a yes girl, she's down and boom, you're in. Or are you trying to reach the level where you're getting girls above your mate value in difficult situations, in difficult scenarios, and you want to have a proper skill set that can maximize what you can do with your particular mate value and socioeconomic status and demographic, etc. Where are you here? And you need to ask yourself that. And yeah, I just thought that that was an interesting video to bring to everyone's attention. Drills, training. Are you a passive guy, or are you willing to try and put in the hard yards to try and improve and get the best out of this as possible? Are you looking for an approach coach that just gets you approaching, or you want to actually refine your game to reach another level? And so, yeah, I just thought I'd bring that to everyone's attention. My 3-part video series is in the description, comes with a free PDF as well. And if you want some coaching with me, top link in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video.